Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first ever ARL Reborn League race for Split 1 on the PC platform with Box here at the Nürburgring in Germany. I am, of course, Justin, aka Fake Ghost Pirate.
And I'm Mikko, aka Smuffler.
And today we're going to be covering the fifth race of this season and the first race of the new league called ARL Reborn. So as has been mentioned in lots of our videos and other videos around YouTube, ARL did shut down, but we are still continuing on. And this race is the first under the new name ARL Reborn.
Yeah. Um, what do you think about Nürburgring? How much practice did you do?
I didn't do an exceptional amount, but I'd say I did enough. I was feeling pretty good about it. I was a little bit off the pace in practice when I was comparing myself to other people, but I really enjoy the track. I love the complexity of Sector 1, the high speed of Sector 2. Sector 3 is it's all right, but sectors 1 and 2 are just really, really fun, really challenging, and I was looking forward to it. It's a track I don't know really well though. I've never watched a race here live until this past year's race, and so I didn't really know it all that well. Compared to the other tracks on the calendar, but certainly it's a flowing type of track for the most part, which I usually enjoy.
Yeah. And something we probably should mention, we did restart the race. We did the whole quali and then the first, I think, 4 or 5 laps.
Something
And
like that.
then Chicane disconnected, who is the host in our sessions, and then everybody just disconnected at the same time. So a bit unfortunate. We had to start the whole thing all over again, and this quali is now the second try we're doing, and of course it's wet.
It's full wet. The first quali we did, it was intermediates, which
Yeah,
people were pretty bummed about already, and then we ended up having to restart, and it goes to full wets.
yeah. You wanna
So
do
here we
the?
are with the side-by-side comparison. Yep, yep. I'm all over it. And it looks like you actually used a little bit of KERS just after the line, and braking now very conservatively down to turn 1. It's a bit of a downhill slope going into turn 1, so especially with the full wets, you got to be really careful. And that's me getting nicely out of your way on your side. And pretty much identical at the moment.
Yeah.
You can see I was actually in lean for that first sector to try and give myself some better traction. It doesn't really seem to have helped or hurt me though. I mean, we're pretty much side by side at this point, so it really didn't seem to make too much of a difference, but I am back in Rich now. And we're going through Sector 2 now. Still very similar. It's almost identical seeing these signs go by. And through this wonderful cambered corner. And yep, I took that in second gear to give myself a little bit better traction. And I had a little, looks like I'm using my KERS a little bit more conservatively, saving a little bit extra for the DRS straight that's coming up after this quick left-right combination as we come to the end of Sector 2 now. And almost on the gravel there, man. You were flirting with disaster right there. And coming to the end of this, are we hitting the... Looks like I might have a little bit shorter gearing, but they're pretty similar as we go through the chicane. And you were a little bit more aggressive. It looks like you've gotten a better exit. Yep, you are definitely noticeably ahead at this point. And it looks like that's where all the difference is going to be. Yep, right there in Sector 3. Pretty much through that chicane is where that 3/10 was found, I think.
Yeah, I think I was actually down on my previous best time on actually on both the first and second sectors. I was down on my previous lap, but just found maybe even 4 or 5 tenths in the last sector.
Yep. And for those of you that might have a keen eye for this type of stuff, you may have noticed that Miko's lap was his third lap in qualifying. Mine was only my second lap in qualifying. I actually only used 2 sets of the wet tires because, as you can see on this screen here, there is a 62% chance of rain for the race. So I decided to save a brand new set of full wet tires that I can use in the race that don't have any life taken off of them. So I could have gone out and maybe tried to qualify a little bit higher with my third set of full wets, but I decided that I would rather do well in the race rather than in qualifying, and just kind of prayed that they would actually be needed. It was a bit of a gamble. There's always a chance that the wet tires would never even be brought out and that it would just be an intermediate race, basically, the whole race. But I decided to take that gamble since I didn't have the outright pace of other people, or the one-lap pace, I should say, and decided to save that set of tires.
Yeah, and actually I was really bummed that there was a chance of rain, because on the first try we did it was 0%, and now it's 62.
Yeah, the first race, the one that we had to restart, that was looking real exciting because it was an intermediate tire qualifying, followed by a dry race. So everyone was starting on fresh tires. It was a real mix-up on the grid and stuff like that. So it is a dry start here. 4 lights, 5 lights, and we're away. Starting from 6th position with Zephyr alongside, Granu just ahead. And it looks like Granu's having a little bit of a run on Onage. He's going to have the inside line for turn 1. And it looks like you're having a little look at Granu. Slight contact, nothing too major though. Thankfully this isn't real F1, otherwise you might have lost an end plate or something. As Fat First goes up the inside on the prime tires. Very nice move from Fat First, and Zephyr now looking up the inside. And he backs off. No way to get around there.
Yeah, Fat First did a really aggressive start. He came right between me and Zephyr. Really aggressive move, but seems like it's paid for him.
Yeah, definitely. This is, of course, the home race for both of the Red Bull drivers, Fat First and Jack First, so I'm certain that they are looking to have a very strong performance. But unfortunately, Fat First has gone wide at that cambered corner, that you guys are going to go side by side with heavy fuel through the Schumacher S's. Oh! And there is contact, and that's push you right off the track, unfortunately. Oh, yeah, and some of that might be lag related, because I mean that looked pretty bad from my point of view, or from your point of view here. So that is very unfortunate. That's going to drop you back down into last place. On board with me now, just behind chicane. I am starting on the prime tires, hoping that the rain is going to come sometime before lap 7. As you can see, that's my planned pit stop, is lap 7. So hoping that it's going to rain before then or shortly after then, as Riot Box comes into the chicane at very high speed, and as I'm clunking over the curbs, and I'm able to maintain that position just barely. And it looks like Jack First, we got Jack First behind for company as well. He's going to be a threat. Not sure what tire compound he's on.
Yeah, and well, of course we're starting off fresh, primes and options. So the option tire usually lasts about 6 or 7 laps on fresh, maybe depends on the tire wear or the tire setup.
And driving style, yeah.
Yeah, and the prime should last at least 7 to 9 laps even.
Yeah, maybe even a little bit longer than that if you're really focusing on tire strategy. I don't know if you saw that proximity arrow on turn 1, but that was pretty scary. I don't know if anyone else noticed that. I did not notice that during the race. I'm just noticing that for the first time. But it looked like Jack First was coming at me at quite a rate of knots going into turn 1. And I'm able to stay in front of him, though, for the time being. And it looks like, actually, yeah, you're not too far behind. You're just behind Riot Box. You definitely lost out on quite a few positions, but not too much time. Maybe only 5-6 seconds, something like that.
Yeah, the main thing, of course, I didn't lose any end plates or anything very serious like that. So yeah. I've closed down on the pack. Actually, you can see it's Riot Box, then Jack First, then it's you, actually. So it's only a couple of seconds now that's between us.
Yeah, running very close, and you are on the option tires as well, so you should have a little bit extra pace compared to myself and the other prime starters. And you actually saved a little bit of curves for the end of the lap, coming on to start-finish straight. You're nicely in Riot Box's slipstream, but it looks like he's getting a slipstream off of Jack First up ahead. He's getting a slipstream off of me. Still running very close. There's a little bit of a gap up ahead of me, and then there's 3 cars running in very close proximity. Looks like the 2 Toro Rossos, and I can't see the other car. But still pretty. And then after them, there's a big gap. You can see it looks like the top 5 have kind of broken away from the bottom 7, and there's quite a gap forming there.
Yeah, as I think there was contact between you and Jack first, and he just let you by.
Yes, yeah,
And
I
I'm
do
diving
believe so.
down the inside.
Oh, wow, and just a dive bomb up the inside of Riot Box, and that looks like job done, and you're very close behind Jack first now, going through the Schumacher S's in very close proximity, getting a nice slipstream right here, though, for sure.
Yeah, a lot of curves still unused. It's really hard to almost got on the gravel. Really hard to follow a car through there, and right box is actually right on my tail now.
Yeah, you got some serious understeer going into that corner before the DRS straight. It looks like Riot Box is actually going straight off the course. I'm not sure if that was lag or something, but
I think it just tried to brake too late and just didn't get the car slowed down.
Gotcha. Well, you were close enough to get DRS on Jack first, and going down into lean. You guys are probably going to see a lot of that. That's something that actually Onage was doing as well. He told me that he was using lean in the first sector, and it looks like something's happened up ahead between possibly the 2 Toro Rossos, and I had to kind of back off to avoid hitting someone, and that's kind of bunched everyone up. We had 5 cars running in very close proximity, and it looks like I've lost out. Let's see a replay of that from my point of view. Yeah, so I'm trying to find a way around Raiden and Zephyr here right now, and I got Jack first behind. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact, and I've gone straight off the course, and I'm in last place.
Yeah, it is so close, and actually I don't know why Jack first didn't slow down and give up the place, because that was clearly his fault. He pushed you from behind, and he should have given the place back already. And it's not even the first time in this race that he's pushed you.
Yeah, that's true. Thankfully, though, it didn't have to come to that, but yeah, that was definitely his fault. I have noticed from their videos and just from watching them in the races, though, both of the firsts actually are very aggressive, doing a lot of trail braking, going into that corner right before where he hit me. So they're very aggressive into that, but of course, they should be aware that not everyone is doing the same thing and braking accordingly. Or I guess he couldn't go up to the inside because I think you were to the inside of him at that moment, so that kind of complicated things a little bit. But I didn't lose out on too much time, maybe 3 seconds, something like that. Definitely a bummer, but live to fight another day. It's same with yours. You just gotta fight through it and just focus on the task at hand. Nothing to be done about it at this point. You just gotta try and make up those positions.
Yeah, looking to get past Raiden and Zephyr here, who are battling.
Yeah, got a little inner team battle.
Yeah, both on options, getting a little oversteery on that corner.
Yep, these options are definitely coming towards the end of their life. They're not done just yet, but they are definitely showing signs of wear this far into the race at this point.
Yeah, and at this point, I was pretty thinking that, okay, the rain is coming, but it's clearly not wet enough. It's not even affecting the performance of the tires or the pace. So I'll just try and getting very close to rain in there, and trying to make the best of this, trying not to get to another option stint before the rain comes.
Right, absolutely.
As there's contact between Zephyr
and the Toro Rossos have both gone straight off. And I believe Raiden did apologize to Zephyr and said that had something to do with his tire life being very poor. So he was having a hard time just keeping it on the track, even especially in that dirty air through those high-speed corners. And it looks like I've got quite a run. Oh, and my spider sense could tell me that Raiden was pitting after he was complaining about his dead tires. So you can see I was looking to go up the inside of him into that corner, and then I just kind of knew that he was pitting, and I backed off and got behind him. But that's going to give me DRS, though, as I'm in lean going into this sector. What was your fuel strategy for this one? Were you on aggressive or normal or cautious?
I can't even remember. I think I was on normal.
Okay, yeah, I actually went with aggressive on this one because of how much saving you can do in Sector 1 with the really slow technical section. So yeah, I was going for speed in the opening laps, which clearly, unfortunately, hasn't really worked out for me, as I'm in second to last after the first 6 laps. And we've got a Toro Rosso, that's Zephyr, who's gone wide now, so it looks like both Toro Rossos are really struggling with tire life at this point in the race.
Yeah, and it seemed like the Primes was clearly the best decision to make the first stint as long as possible.
They're really not that much slower. I'm surprised, you know, that us on the prime tires were able to keep up with the option runners for so well. Even on the first couple of laps, the pace difference was negligible at best. As I have DRS on Riotbox, going to use all of my cars and some rich mix, and that is job done. Actually, that was pretty easy. I think I got a nice run on him coming out of that last corner, and he did move to the side. I'm not sure if that was to defend or just to concede, but either way, that 9th place position is mine.
Yeah, and up ahead, that's Jack first, and then it is myself, I think.
And we got some cars in the pits, actually. It looks like 2 cars in the pits, one of whom is Alex Gillen. So Alex Gillen, who started on the option tires, pitting at the end of lap 6. Very early, and the rain is coming, but actually, I see a little bit of a spray starting to show up.
Yep.
If you just look really carefully, you can start to see a little bit of a spray showing up. So this is starting to look like this is just about perfect for the prime runners, and it's about a nightmare scenario for the option runners.
Yeah, I think we'll see my tire situation right about now, because I was thinking about, can I eke out two more laps, because it is not time for the intermediates yet.
No.
I think it must be 1 or 2 laps more, and it's not gonna be fun to drive with these tires till the end.
Yeah. If you put the intermediates on in these conditions, oh gosh.
Yeah, they are just finished at this point.
Yeah. Those are some really unhappy tires, and
Jack first just breezes by. No point to defend, actually, and I'm just gonna go to the pits right now to get some new options.
Yep. I think that's the way to go, because clearly you're going to be going on to the intermediates pretty soon. So putting on the prime tires would be there's no point in doing that. And it was wet quali, so you got like 4 sets of options. You might as well go. But yeah, if you'd gone for the intermediates here at the end of lap 7, you would have easily overcooked them, and they would have been dead by the time the rain was actually bad enough to warrant the intermediate tires.
Yeah, and it's so random sometimes. In these wet conditions, you can pretty much run the option tires. At some tracks you can run them, like in these conditions, you can run them for 3 or 4 laps sometimes. But we'll see when I have to pit again for the inters.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's actually I think that means you've lost out to Ryden, right? He's up ahead right now. He's one of the other cars that was forced to pit because of tire wear. Were you ahead of him when he pit, or were you?
I think he pit on lap 5, if I'm not mistaken. So he's had clear air just to run with the new option tires for the last 3 laps.
Oh, and your DRS is broken, just for good measure. just to really, just make things that much better for you. In case you were thinking about passing someone, nope. Yeah. Your DRS is broken. And coming out to the end of lap 8, and I wonder if I'm thinking about, this rain, there's definitely spray coming off. Am I pitting? Yep, I am going to pit. That was a little bit of a illegal pit entry, but I don't think I gained really any time from doing it. So here I am, going to go onto the intermediate tires. I believe I was in 6th. Yep, pitting from 6th place. And it says I'm going to rejoin in 11th or 12th as a Mercedes gets held up by me. I'm not sure if that was ownage or chicane.
Chicane, probably.
Okay. Yeah. It's got to be chicane. There's no way it's ownage. And that's going to put me in 11th place, just ahead of Riotbox and just behind Zephyr. Now, is Zephyr still on the option tires? I believe he is.
Yeah, I think he is. And in
Yep.
hindsight, I probably should have outright box tries to have a look, but no, not this time.
Nope. Yep.
In hindsight, I should have just stayed on the worn options for one more lap and then pit on. Oh, he has another look. No, you're not having any of it.
This is very interesting because we're on two very different tire types. I mean, he's on options and I'm on intermediates, and it's strange seeing how in certain areas one is faster, in certain areas the other one is faster. But I figured if he didn't fly right by me, then I had pretty much made the right decision as far as going on to the intermediates. And you're going right off the track, and I got to imagine that you are going to be going into the pits at the end of this lap.
Yeah,
oh,
right.
man. And another very close call with that gravel trap at the end of the sector there. I mean, I'm surprised you didn't give yourself a heart attack with all the little moments you're having with that gravel trap.
Yeah, and Raiden goes really. He misses the pin entry completely.
Oh shit, sorry.
And he's crashed into chicane, I think.
Oh god.
On the last corner. So
and you can see it's very busy in the pit lane. It looks like everybody that's not already on the intermediate tires is going onto those intermediate tires right now.
Yep.
Now is the time. Everyone, mad dash. And you are going to come out, it looks like, comfortably in 9th place. And someone's coming down. Someone's coming down. No, okay, you're definitely a good distance ahead of Zephyr and the car that is behind him. Now, where am I at this point?
I think you must be ahead up.
I would assume so.
Bigger group of cars, 3 or 4 cars just ahead. So I think you're one of those, because I think you're close to 5th or 6th actually at this point, because I made that extra pit stop, so that means I must be at least 10 to 15 seconds behind you at this point.
Yeah, something like that. And one of your, or actually several of your laps would have been slower than mine because of tire wear and being on the worn options for, I really didn't have any tire wear problems. I mean, they were maybe a little bit orange at the time that I pit, but it was very manageable still. I probably could have even done one more lap if I needed to. So yeah, that's definitely helped. Coming now to the end of lap 10, and yep, I'm in. Oh, okay. Actually, no, I'm the car in front of the car in front of you.
Right,
so actually, you're not too far back. I think you might be catching me actually. And it looks like we got another car in the pits, and it is Fat first. And I think
he's just joining.
Yep,
so
and
you'll be joining just ahead of him.
Yep, just barely. Yep, just barely in front of him. As we get a little bit of a proximity arrow for turn 1, and that moves me up into 6th position now, with 3 cars up ahead. It looks like Jack first, and possibly
Alex.
Chicane, and Alex.
Yep.
Really
right.
Interesting. So we're over a third through the race, and actually I'm still in touch with Alex. Not so much. I believe that's Ownage out in front at the moment. He's definitely pulled out a little bit of a gap. In 2nd place at the moment is a newcomer to the league. You guys might have seen him in Silverstone. His name is Kifla. He was a reserve driver, but unfortunately Amstel from the Williams team has dropped out of the league due to some issues with him. So he's not going to be competing anymore, and Kifla has taken over his spot for the Williams team, and he is currently running in 2nd place. He's really the only person that seems to be any sort of challenge for Ownage at the moment.
Yeah, and Alex, of course, he had that compromise that he started on the options, and I think he did only 4 laps and then went on another set of options, which actually was the smart thing to do, because he clearly saw that. Oh, did you just get pushed?
Yeah, I think I got
from Fat first.
Yeah, I got a tap from Fat first. I think that gave me some understeer and pushed me wide through the corner. Yeah, because he definitely could have passed me right there, but he didn't. So yeah, that was definitely a contact there. So yeah, the Red Bulls are definitely hungry for a strong finish here. They're looking for a podium at least, I would imagine. With Onage and Kifla this far ahead, though, it's looking like third is probably the best anyone else is going to be able to do, because that is quite a big gap. This is mixed conditions, though, so anything can happen. You know, it's very easy to make the wrong call as far as tires are concerned, and all of a sudden you find yourself having a 2-minute lap time as you struggle to get grip.
Yeah, and we have to, of course, remember that it's 62%, so it might not even rain for the whole rest of the race here.
Right,
We have
exactly.
18 laps to go, so anything can happen, really.
Exactly. But it's looking good at the moment, considering that I was in 12th only maybe 7 laps ago. So to go from 12th to 6th in 7 laps is definitely a good start. And to be in, I believe you're in, that's 7th, 8th, you're in 9th at the moment.
No, 9th, yeah.
Yeah, in spite of the issues. So running pretty well, all things considered here, as we near the halfway point of the race.
Yeah, I think if you look at the mini-map, you can see I think that's Fat First just behind now, coming to the side and
I think
trying to move.
Oh, oh gosh.
A lot of lag.
Oh, and
I think that's
Mercedes, Chicane's had an incident. It's going to let Fat First by, and it's going to let me alongside around the outside, and I've gotten him. And I noticed on the final corner a lot of understeer at the entrance of the corner and a lot of oversteer at the exit. So I think we're looking at full wets pretty soon here, if not right now. I got to imagine that right now I'm probably thinking about going to the full wets. Yep, as we hear the engineer confirm that indeed the full wet tires is looking like the best choice right now.
Yeah, the telltale signs. You can see the sky is pretty dark at the moment, and you can see that really strange white kind of texture on the asphalt, and starting to see the mirror effect also. You can see these red banners here, the Santander logos. You can see the reflections, so that's a clear sign that it's time for the full wets.
Oh, there's some more clear signs as
Yeah.
I nearly go off the course twice, and it looks like there's been an incident up ahead. Somebody is struggling to get the power down. It looks like that's Fat First. Yep, Fat First struggling to get the power down.
Yeah, of
After
course.
he just
that's
got by me.
Jack First ahead, so they're gonna be double stacking.
Oh gosh.
And Jack First gets a lot of
Oh gosh.
oversteer there.
Oh
We're
gosh.
gonna go side by side.
This is not good. Oh, this is not good for Fat First either, because they're gonna have to double stack in the pit lane. It looks like we might have to as well. Maybe not.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I thought we were gonna have to double stack. Yeah, I guess not. Okay.
Oh
yep.
dear.
Yep. You know your race isn't going great when you have to use the reverse.
Yeah. And actually, I wasn't too far there,
Yeah.
because I actually saw you going to the pit entry, so I would have been much closer if it wasn't for that
Yeah, definitely.
stupid incident.
Yeah, you were really not that far back, and I mean, you locked both fronts, and it really didn't seem like you were going that fast. That seemed intense for sure. I mean, that seemed like a big lockup for somebody not going really that fast at all.
Yeah, just a stupid mistake really, and it's just made my catching up that much worse.
Yeah, there is a huge gap now to Fat First. I wonder if we'll get... no, we won't get an accurate split time because of the pitting. But in Sector 2 we can get an accurate split time. And even in these full wets, it's tough out there, even on these full wets.
Yeah, the conditions are not really not very good.
Yeah, okay,
10 seconds to Fat First.
Okay, your engineer said your tires are at optimum temperature at least, so I think they are kind of matching the... I swear I just heard your engineer say to come in for the intermediates though, just before that one. So I think even the engineers are having a hard time deciding what tires are supposed to be on. And I am now coming along down this DRS straight behind Jack First with Chicane behind.
Yeah, so Fat First he must have lost out in the pits big time, just waiting for his teammate, because he was in front of me, so he's lost 2 to 3 places at those pit stops.
Yeah, that definitely did not work out well for him. Yeah, unfortunately, though, to continue on for another lap, he might have lost even more time. Just seeing how everyone was struggling with the intermediates in the full wet conditions. So yeah, I don't think he had any other choice really. Pitting was the only option in these conditions.
Yeah, that's why I had to reverse, because that's the maybe I lose 5 seconds reversing on the side of the track than going around the track.
Yeah.
With those intermediates where I probably lose 20
you
to
might
30 seconds or something.
Yeah, exactly. You might lose 5 seconds just in the first sector with those kind of conditions. So yeah, I mean, again, you really have no choice. I mean, you're allowed to do that as long as it's safe. And if you guys rewind and look at that clip, it was safe. There was nobody behind for quite a while, giving Miko plenty of time to reverse and get into the pits. So no issues there. Just some time lost. But yeah, that's certainly giving you even that much more to do. Whoa, that's a big cut. Holy crap. I don't think I gained any time, though. As you can see, I pretty much took my foot off the gas as I was realizing that I was going all 4 wheels off the track. And it doesn't
look like you're surprised about the grip of the wet tires.
And actually, I've gained up quite a bit through the chicane here. It looks like Jack First has struggled I think he might have locked up going into the chicane, because there was quite a gap, and then whoa, that was an interesting corner. It looked like I was taking that corner pretty well, and then right at the end there just got a little funny. So yeah, the conditions definitely tricky at this time. It's a tough track to drive in the wet as well, because it's so technical. As Jack First has a really also have not a great corner. So yeah, the conditions aren't 100% matching the tires, but anything else would be even worse. So it's challenging enough as it is, but it would be even more challenging with any other tire.
Yeah, in this first sector, it does feel so slow when you're going through those first couple of corners with the wet tires. It just feels so slow, because there's no way you can get the power down, even with the lean mix, and just trying to feather the throttle a little bit, and
short shifting, doing everything.
Yeah, it is really hard, that first sector on the full wets.
I think it's especially hard when you're running by yourself through that sector as well. As we can see, actually, I'm on -1 fuel. Not something you see very often from my races, especially only halfway through the race. But yeah, that sector 1 on the full wets, when you're by yourself, to me, that's when it was really strange feeling. Because when you're riding behind another car or ahead of another car, you know that you're going as fast as you can because you have a reference point. But when you're going through there by yourself, it just feels really, really, really slow. And you're like, man, I must be losing out right now. There's no way that other people are going as slow as I am through here.
Yeah, in the real life one, I think the lap times, I think they drop up maybe 10 seconds depending on the track. From the Jack First.
Oh,
it just goes to the wall.
Interesting. That was a strange one for sure. Looks like he got some oversteer coming out of turn 1, and it just spun straight into the wall.
That was really strange.
That was a very strange one. It does look like he's maintained the position though. So he is still in 5th place, but I've moved up a position now, and also he's got company. You can see on the mini-map, he's got someone very close behind. I want to say that's either Chicane or Granu.
Or maybe both.
Yeah. So he's going to be busy. He's going to have to defend that position now. And I am aware of that. And as mentioned earlier in the video, these are brand new full wet tires. So saving that unused set of full wet tires is paying dividends now in the race for me. So I got pretty lucky with that. I figured with a 68% chance of rain that we'd be seeing the full wets at some point, but I wasn't sure, and it is now definitely paying off. As we skip now to the middle of lap 20, and we're still on the full wets, and your KERS is offline.
My KERS is offline.
Wow.
My car is just
Wow.
broken.
Yeah. Your car is just not happy today. So, still in 9th place, very comfortably in 9th place. We got over 9 seconds to 8th place and over 8 seconds to 10th place. So you're just running a really, really lonesome race at this point. I think maybe we need a Forever Alone meme inserted somewhere in the video around here.
Yeah, and going to the intermediates, just doing another one of my gambles here.
Yep.
Going a really aggressive move, actually.
I mean, you can clearly see the rain has stopped, or it's slowed significantly. There's still a lot of water on the track, but the rain has pretty much stopped.
Yeah, let's see how the car behaves as I come to out of the pits here. There's no better telling than the first
Ooh,
sector here.
Yep, and now it's actually looking more. Oh yeah, yep. I think it was too early. Still too much water on the track. It's definitely enters conditions in the air.
Tire temperatures.
Yeah, just
second
struggling.
gear drift through that corner.
3rd gear for that one, 4th, and getting
wheel spin on 5th.
And you're in lean right now, right?
Yeah, look at the tire temperatures. Just the tires are not giving up any grip at this point.
Nope, not at all. And you are in 10th at the moment, but with the rain holding off, I mean, it's safe to say that everyone is going to have to pit for the intermediates. Just, I'm not sure how soon they're going to be, and we're coming to the end of lap 21. I'm still on the full wet.
Yeah, and that's a good choice in my opinion. And there's someone in the pits at...
And that was Alex Gillen, who has pit at the... Oh, gosh!
Well, I break down here. Sorry.
Wow, okay.
Oh, man, and he just...
And I got a penalty. I braked really early and I braked softly.
He's trying to explain right now.
And I'm trying to tell him to just go ahead, like the damage is done, but no, he insists on conceding the position. So I am going to go ahead and continue on my full wet tires, but clearly even at the end of lap 21, 1 lap after you pit for the intermediates, even now it's too early. Alex said that he actually he actually braked earlier than he normally would at the pit exit, and he still locked up and went straight on. So clearly it is still full wet conditions, but Jack First has definitely closed up quite a bit. If you look at the mini-map, Jack First is right behind me now as Alex conceded that position as well. It would have been nice if he's going to knock me off the track, if he could at least do the same for my competitors. Come on, man. Some equality would be nice. So we're... and I wonder if I'm going to be pitting. It's telling me to pit. Yeah. But I wonder why. Maybe my tires are just worn, possibly.
You can see a little bit of a drying line appearing.
Yeah. Where it appears there's a little bit less standing water. There's still standing water even on the racing line, but it does appear to be lightening up a little bit on the racing line. And I am going to pit. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pit. And I imagine Jack First is going to do the same. He probably wants to match whatever I'm doing, so he makes sure not to lose out on any time or anything like that. And no, he continues. Jack First is going to continue on. He's going to do another lap on the full wets. And I'm coming into the pit for the intermediate tires. Gonna have to do 8 laps on these tires.
Yeah, I think that's comfortably enough for the end of the race.
Yeah, I think so too. And I believe I pit at the end of lap 13 for the full wets. So I did end up doing actually 9 laps on the full wets, which means it was just that much better that I saved a brand new set. Because doing 9 laps on a scrub set of tires in any condition is going to be difficult, unless maybe if you're on the primes, but the hard compound tires, those maybe would be able to hold up certain tracks. So in 5th at the moment, big gap to Alex up ahead. He probably overcooked his tires a little bit though. on those laps. So look, I'm definitely hoping to maybe make up some time with Alex. But right now, my main competitor is definitely Jack First, because he continued on. So I really need to push to make sure that I'm not getting jumped by Jack First.
Yeah, let's see. I think it's just in between the tires right now. Both tires, I think, are performing pretty well, but it's clearly starting to. The Inters are starting to be the better tire at this point.
Yeah, definitely. As the laps tick by, it is definitely becoming the better and better race tire.
Yeah. And I am 10th at the moment, and there's again a big gap to chicane, at least 10 seconds, and let's see if I can do anything about that gap, but it's clearly pushing really hard.
Yep, 14.8 to chicane, and it's looking like a similar gap back to Zephyr though. So it's looking like at least 1 point might be on the cards for today, at the very least. Maybe some more if because the conditions are changing. So we're gonna skip ahead now to the end of lap 29, the beginning of lap 30. And it is still Inters conditions. You can see the sky has lit up quite a bit, and some adventurous folks have actually decided to even go for the option tires for the end of the race here, which is, like I said, pretty adventurous. It is still quite wet, as you can tell. There's tons of water on the screen. There's not so much standing water, but at the same time, there's not really a dry line. There's a drying line, but it's not really dry per se.
Yeah, and the Inter's still performing well. You can see you're doing green sectors at this point, so doing a better lap than your last lap. And Jack First is looking really hungry behind you. He's been stalking you for a lot of...
Pretty much since Alex knocked me off the course. Pretty much since that moment, I've been battling with him. I saved lots of curves, though, and I used about 40% going towards the Schumacher S's. Got about 60% of my curves remaining going through this high-speed left-right section at the end of Sector 2. Got Jack First very close behind, going to Rich, using the rest of my curves, and I'm 3/10 up on my previous lap at least. It says 5 seconds to Jack First, but that's more like 5/10, if that. I think it's even less than 5/10.
Yeah.
And braking very late, for me anyway, braking very late for that final chicane, going through there nicely, just keeping it on the track, staying in lean for that to try and get as much traction as I can. Really just need to focus, keeping it on the track, and I'm gonna get it.
See if it goes there.
Yes, sir.
As Alex tries to make me feel better. And then I will promptly complain anyway about it. But yeah, very, very happy with 4th place. And in the end, you were able to actually move up a couple more positions, moving ahead of Chicane and one other person, Zephyr. Yep, moving ahead of Chicane and Zephyr to grab 8th place for what I believe is our best finish as a team so far this season.
Yeah, which is kind of depressing because we clearly have the pace, but just the results are not coming consistently enough.
Certainly not for the two of us. I mean, if you look at all the previous races, well, actually in Spain neither of us really did well. But Monaco, you did well. Canada, you did well. England, I did well. Germany, I did well. As we can see from this graphic right here. So hopefully one of these days we'll get to do a race where we both do well. But in the meantime, better one than none at least. And that does actually tie us for points now. So it's on now.
Yeah. And Onage won that race. It showed that Kifla won that race, but actually Onage, he had a penalty for pushing Alex at some point, yeah.
Yep.
So that got removed, so that puts Kifla in 2nd place.
Yep, they had a incident at the chicane in the final sector, but Onage did let off, and he let Alex back by. Not for very long, but he did. And so he was, that penalty was removed, so he did win fair and square. For the Constructors Championship, this is a lot more exciting than the Drivers Championship. We got Mercedes with 135, Ferrari with 110, only about a 25-point gap for them. Red Bull is another 26 points back with 84 points total. The firsts doing a fantastic job, both of them putting in consistent finishes, getting into the points almost every single race. And we're in fourth at the moment with 28 points apiece for a total of 56 points. So bit of a mixed bag as far as Germany is concerned, but certainly got a nice points haul, the best points haul we've had all season.
Yeah, and next up is Hungary next Sunday, so tune in for that.
Yep, that's going to do it for this one, but join us for the second ever ARL Reborn League race at the Hungaroring, where we're expecting lots of pit stops. It should be a good one.
Yeah, we'll see you there.